Hey, I'm Sheniece Charway, and welcome to Battles and Blessings, the podcast where we take a deep dive into the extraordinary journeys of today's most influential voices. I created this podcast because I believe that everyone's lives, just like the biblical figures, are marked by both battles and blessings. On this podcast, you'll hear some powerful stories that will challenge and uplift you. All right, let's get into today's episode. Hey, Remy.
Hey,
How-
Sheniece Charway.
Oh, gosh.
There's only one SC in her.
If there's anyone Remy,
Hey.
I'll tell you that for free.
I'm
First name, just first name's Remy.
Remy. Yeah, man. I'm happy to be here.
No, I'm happy
Nice.
that you came on. I really appreciate it.
Nice little setup you got here, mate.
You know what? I'm trying. I'm
Hey,
trying. I'm
it's
trying.
aesthetically pleasing.
So, I'm super glad that you came on. I've known you. How long have I known you now?
So we met through a friend.
Did we?
Yeah.
I didn't meet in the industry.
We met in the industry, but through a friend. Like, I was told about you. I was like, oh, Cassiana.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I forgot because
Yeah.
I went to uni with Kez.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh! Oh yeah.
And then she was like, oh yeah, I know a friend who's in the industry. I was like, okay, cool. And then she told me about you before I'd even got a chance to meet you, I think. Well, I think we met at like DLT back in the day, like first DLT. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah.
Oh my gosh! I forgot.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Now, like, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. But then we formed our own relationship. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, okay. So it must be about since I started in the industry then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a while.
7, 8
But
years.
you are doing big things.
So are you, my dear?
Oh, thanks, dear.
But when I look at YouTube, I see SC in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, simple. You put a lot of people on, and you've showcased a lot of black talent in the UK.
Thank you.
And you're just like inviting face.
But so are you. You literally light up every room that you go into.
By God's grace.
Like you always do. That's the one thing that I know is that I've never seen you not with a smile on your face.
Hey, I'm trying.
Like
I'm trying. It's
no
hard
one's-
to maintain a smile in this climate, but
this is it. And
Yeah.
I find it so interesting because people will see a smile or like everyone happy all the time, but don't realize the things that they've gone through or the things that are going through. Like that is just one part of them.
yeah.
So I think it's really interesting about the conversation that we're going to have today because I think I've learned a lot about you, and I don't think a lot of people know the lot of stuff that you've gone through, and that you're still so positive, and that you literally wear God on your sleeve. Like one thing I knew about you was like, oh, she believes in God, and I can see it, and I think it's so incredible. So I think let's take it back a little
Yeah.
bit. So obviously a lot of people probably know you from radio, but before you got into radio and like your upbringing and how that has kind of shaped you as a person, let's take it back. Tell me a little bit about your family and how you grew up.
Okay, cool. So first gen Nigerian, British in this country. So my parents came from Nigeria. Yes, I'm fully Nigerian. I always get like, what, are you fully? And I'm like, yes, I am.
mean, I'm quite, yeah.
Are you going to say, you look Nigerian?
No. I mean, I have a lot of Nigerian friends,
Yeah.
but you could pass the Caribbean, I think, as well.
Yeah, I got that. I got that. When I went to Jamaica, the guy was like, welcome home, sister. I said, thanks. I mean, it's not my home, but yeah, I'll take it. I love it. And I love it in Jamaica, to be fair.
Oh,
So
I'm going in January.
I'll
I
take
can't
that.
wait.
Oh, you're going to have a great time.
I'm excited.
Yeah. But yeah, first gen, I've got 3 siblings.
Yeah.
And yeah, like, what else can I tell you? Grew up in church. Like, the first music that I ever like came across in life was gospel, Nigerian, talking drum music, and then Bob Marley. So it was like one of the two. Like my dad was more of like, used to listen to a lot of like the Western music, like stuff that was outside of Nigeria, Luther Vandross, all of that. And then my mum was like, she had like 2 CDs that she would just run.
Over and over and
Just
over.
and over.
in
So
the
we
CD
knew
player.
it. So every time it came on in like a hall party or something, like I would be singing it, and like mums and aunties would be so shocked I would get sprayed dollars. They would be like, take the dollars, take it. I used to make peas in African hall parties because of those 2 CDs.
Do you remember what they were?
Grateful. It was both Yinka Ayefele. So he's like a gospel artist. He's in a wheelchair. So he was just, everything was just him praising God because he got in an accident.
Wow.
And so, yeah, like, it's, yeah.
I used
just
to look him up. So
top tier.
are you the oldest or the youngest in your siblings?
I am the oldest for my mum.
Yeah.
And I've got older sister, half sister.
Yeah.
Who lives in Nigeria or Ghana. She's flicked between the two. Or she lived in Ghana for a bit actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I felt the oldest. I've got the first child syndrome because I'm living in the UK with my two younger brothers.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I've got the symptoms.
How do you feel being like the only girl in your family and the two younger siblings who are male?
A lot of pressure came with that.
Really?
A lot of pressure came with that, especially because like I'm masculine presenting. So to my mum, it's like she's got a daughter, but she wanted me to like dress a certain way, wear certain things, and it never quite fit her aesthetic of what she I guess wanted from a daughter. I guess the way I've understood it now as an adult, is that she had her dreams. Do you know what I mean? So me not, I guess, coming out looking like her dream is what kind of caused a bit of confusion between us. But we're in a much better space now.
Which is amazing.
So it definitely came with that pressure, but also the pressure of like leading the way, setting an example, you know, like going to uni, getting good grades, you know, being a good child. Do you know what I mean? So because I guess your parents just assume if you are good, the rest of them will copy you. Yeah. But I guess everyone's their own individual person anyway. So
there's only so much you can do.
There's only so much I can do.
You can be an influence on your younger siblings or whoever, who is around you, but at the end of the day, you're all your individual people. And I guess it's quite interesting coming from a Nigerian household. Obviously, with like the Western world, how they see men and women, and like, okay, she might feel, actually, I want you to be interested in this, that, and the other, but you actually knew who you were as an individual. When did you kind of know that, you know what, I like to not dress as feminine as maybe she wanted me to do?
From young, like I remember a specific like conversation where I was like, I used to like steal my dad's clothes because obviously they're masculine, they're male, innit? Yeah. And my mum was like so annoyed. Like she was like, how come you keep stealing your dad's clothes? You don't steal mine. And I was like, I don't want to dress like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like, you know, but my dad defended me. I was like, just leave her. Like, just,
I love
you know,
that.
and like, again, I guess this is where I said that I understood that. I guess my mum had her dreams of like, she has a daughter, she can take them down the aisle, she could, you know what I mean? Like push her off into marriage and all that kind of stuff. So I guess she kind of had to relearn or redream, you know, for me. So I guess now that she's doing that, our relationship is a lot better. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I knew from young.
You knew from young. So when you, I guess in your household, you said you listened to a lot of like Nigerian gospel. Was church or God a big part of your like upbringing?
100%. I used to go to 2 churches a day, two different churches. One was Church of England, one was evangelical, like, and they preach differently.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I was gonna say,
Church of England is hymns and like, you know, the daily bread. Everybody's got to go to the altar and kneel. And, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and then
have the juice of your child.
Exactly, and then Holy Communion, like. I used to serve, so I would be like the priest would be sitting there and I would be sitting there in the robe, like I used to do all of that, and I enjoyed it, you know, it brought structure to my life.
So it was like every Sunday you had to do both?
Every Sunday, and then the evangelical one was in the afternoon, so that one was more of like a, we used to call it Sunday school, so it was very much studying the Bible, like I used to know all the Bible verses, like, and it was like, it was positive reinforcement. They used that. They were like, okay, cool. Who knows their Bible verse that they taught us last week? And then they would like give you sweets or like give you like, do you know what I mean? Or just like you'd win prizes, or there's like points that you win. At the end of the year, you get to choose. You get to go to the room, and depending on how many points you have, you can get a prize. And it was just so like.
Do you know what? I've never heard this, and I think this is a great way, because I'm like trying to read scriptures now and learn them, and it's hard.
It's hard. I used to know them up and down. Like, me and my brothers would do competition.
I bet you always used to win.
Yeah, right. Not all the time, though. Not all the time. My brother just after me, he's got great memory, to be fair.
Wow. And
So-
how do you feel like, what church do you feel like had more effect on you?
Ooh, I would say the evangelical one.
Yeah.
Like that one was like everything I compared to, is this what God would want me to do?
Yeah.
Is this godly? There's like still songs that I've got that used to just make me so happy. Like just like I remember like dancing, like, and there were two very different environments, you know.
Yeah.
The Church of England one, to be fair, it was quite balanced, like ethnically.
Yeah.
But evangelical one was like everyone in that hood, that area
Would
go. So it was like, but again, it was still balanced ethnically. So I feel like I've just been around like so many different cultures all my life.
Yeah.
And I was just able to just learn more, not just about the Bible, just about life, about who's going to be around you, like how certain people are not going to understand certain things.
Yeah.
You know, having to explain stuff. Like I remember explaining what jollof rice was to our Sunday school leader, and it was a white man. Like I was like, no, it's this rice here that my mum makes it, and it's like orange, you know, and it's like, do you know what I mean? And just explaining it to them. I've had that from young.
Yeah.
Whereas I feel like sometimes you're sheltered, you're in your bubble, and then you get pushed into the real world,
and
you don't know how to. Do you know what I mean?
Navigate.
So
Yeah.
I've had that from young.
Wow, I love that as well, that you've been around a lot of different people. And I think that's why also you shine so bright in different rooms, because you know how to navigate a room of
different people.
Different people, whether it's singers, whether it's influencers, whether it's executives, whether it's youth. You literally know how to manage that. And I think that's one of your greatest qualities. Like you always make everyone feel so welcome. And I think that's probably a part of
honestly, you. It's mad because you've just made me make sense of why I can do that.
Yeah.
Just by talking. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay, that probably explains why I can get on with a fly.
You
like,
literally, Remy, you literally get on with any. I have never, ever heard one single bad word about you. Like seriously. And I think every time you come into a room, like, oh, Remy, like everyone does that, because it's just so amazing to see how like pure you are as well. And I think that shows through everything. And I think it goes back to community being a big thing for you. Maybe you haven't realised it, but community's probably played such a big part.
So big. Like, so big. And it's even now in the ways of the world right now, the way everything's just looking crazy and gloomy.
Yep.
I've said the answer is community.
Yep.
That's it. Like right now, in this day and age, if you ain't got a community, you're going to feel like your boat is being rocked.
Yeah. Left, right, and centre.
Left, right, up, down,
round,
side
around,
to side, diagonally, octagon, whatever you.
No, octagon. Not back to school, octagon.
Yeah. I've never used that word again.
That's what
by
I was
the way,
saying.
I don't know why
like...
they taught us that. Why did they teach us that? I've never used octagon in my life.
No, oh god, hexagon, octagon.
Hexagon,
I'm like, I can't remember which one's which.
Which is 5, 7, 6. I don't know. Good luck.
Okay, that takes us. Sorry, that is so funny. Takes us into like your upbringing a little bit more, but in school, like how was your school experience? Where did you like go? Was it all girls school?
Yes.
Was it mixed school? Was it all girls school?
All girls school. Boy, I think I've always been like tomboy.
Yeah.
You know, like always liked wearing trousers, tracksuit, all of that kind of stuff. So I feel like one of the reasons my mum took me to a girls' school, especially a girls' school that only wore skirts. Yeah.
Oh.
Like no trousers, even in the winter when it was snowing and the snow was up to here.
You started to wear skirt?
We had to wear skirt. No, there was no trousers.
The 70 denier tights.
Listen, that's why to an extent there's a part of me that can withhold the cold. Because I was like, if you know what I went through back then to get to school.
I can't believe you had to wear a skirt all the time.
Couldn't wear trousers.
Wow.
Couldn't wear trousers. So.
How was that for you?
Boy, it made me more conscious of like not having dry legs. You know what I mean? Like my knees, like, you know what I mean? You know, sometimes I lack of that, but like, you know what I mean? But it's a 365 day of the year, you get me? Like, so it just made me a bit more conscious of and this is probably why I've got so many socks. Like I got so much socks. Like like one of my friends came over the other day, was like, I don't know anyone who has this many socks. I'm just like,
You got to keep
just
raw.
always had, because that's what I used to cover my legs. You know what I mean? Like, I had a stock, fam. I had a stock. But yeah, no, secondary school was a bit of an interesting one.
Yeah.
I had a roller coaster in secondary school.
Yeah.
From the beginning, felt like I was a very misunderstood young lady. I found myself getting into like a bit of trouble because I was very, very I was a very excited young girl, like
Yeah.
wanted to do everything. I did drama, I did athletics, I did everything that allowed me to I tried to play the violin. Do I look like somebody that can play the violin?
I mean, you can do anything.
Yeah, no, you can do anything in life. But tried is the key word here.
Yeah, tried. How many lessons did you do and you were like, you know what, I can't do this?
I think I got up to like year 8, I think. And then
you were like, nah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's put this one down. Okay. But you know, I used to get into a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
But there was one teacher in particular. Her name is Miss Card, or Miss Moses, I believe, because she got married. And she, I feel like she understood me, or she took the time to understand me, and she drilled it in me from young that I'm a young black woman. Like it's already gonna be hard.
Yeah.
Like she drilled that into me, and I remember her saying to me. Oh, I remember her saying to my mum, actually, which I needed her to, I didn't even know I needed her to say it, but she was just like, your daughter's got a lot of energy. You just don't know what to do with it. So that was her, like, in a way, them taking responsibility. Like, we don't know what to do with this girl's energy. She's got so much energy.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what to do with it. And if we fast forward to one day at radio, right?
Yeah.
I know we're going to get there, but one day at radio, I was sat at Represent Radio.
Yeah.
I hadn't been thinking about school. There was no reason for me to be thinking about school. That comment came up in my head and I was like, damn, this is what I'm meant to be doing. Like, and I was like, whoa, I found it. This is what I'm meant to be. This is what, do you know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm meant to be doing with my energy, like, kind of thing. And I remember being so taken back, like, why am I thinking about my teacher? Like, why is my teacher coming to my head now? But yeah, we can go back now. But like, she was the teacher that I think really, really understood me. And when she left, I was really, really upset. Yeah. But no one really understood why.
Yeah, like, she's the only one that understood you.
Yeah, I feel like she's the only one that took the time to, like, don't get twisted. If I did something wrong, she'd tell me. But it wasn't from a place of, like, it felt like it was like if she was telling me off, it was a place of love, a place of care.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just didn't feel like I tried to have that relationship with other teachers, but it just wasn't working. Like, so, yeah.
I think teachers have such an impact on us.
They do.
And you don't realise that until you get older. And you're like, oh, the teacher said this to me, or this teacher really took the time to understand me as a person. And then when you get older, you're like, oh, they're saying this because they care. But also, teachers are like probably the first adults that you really interact with on an individual basis, but your parents are not there. So you can kind of be your authentic self and not have to be like, oh, I have to be this way because my mom or my dad or whatever. It's like, no, actually, this is me. This is Remy.
Yeah.
This is how I'm going to be. And she took it and she said, okay, do you know what? I understand you, but how am I going to help you? And going back to, I guess, to radio and you being like, this is what she meant.
Just what she meant. And yeah, like, I had another teacher, actually, my food tech teacher. I don't know if it's because I loved food, but like, we had a
You don't made jollof or something?
Yeah. No, she was Nigerian. Oh, her name is left my head.
Yeah.
But she was Nigerian and she just like, I could connect with her on that. Like, you know, like, I'm looking at her like she's my auntie. I'm just like, yeah, like, I'm going to have respect to like, you know, like, and yeah, I always, my cakes always just to flop in the middle.
Oh, what?
But she never gave up on me. Like,
no, in the middle. What were you doing?
Hey, do you know what? I just didn't believe in measurements. I didn't believe in measurements. Honestly, I was like,
I'm going to do what I got to do.
Yeah, man, what do you need 40 Oz of this? 50 Oz, bruh. 50 Oz of butter, bruh. I've cut that in there. But now I know instruction is instruction.
The instructions are there for a reason.
Exactly, yeah.
How was your uni experience?
Uni? Hey. I don't think there's anything in life that can prepare you, by the way, for the real world.
Oh, no.
You could
nothing.
go
Nothing.
and do a GCSE in the real world and you will still not be prepared for the real world, by the way.
No.
So university, I went to Canterbury. And it was a glimpse, I guess, of what life would be like away from home, away from family.
Yeah.
And don't get it twisted, I was a serial gallivanter when I was younger. So I didn't get like homesickness and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think it was more from a case of, swear down you have to pay for water. Swear down you have to pay for this. Swear down you have to pay for that. You have to be an adult. Yes. I'm like, what? Like, swear down I have to budget. Do you know what I mean? Like, I had to learn all of that. You know, I learned how to drive there. Like, if I wanted to get fit, I had to go and get... Because, you know, like, in school, like, they'll, like... You just had to do PE. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But if I wanted to get fit, I had to go and join, like... You know what I mean? Like, everything, I was like, well, damn. And, you know, it was quite the experience. But I had a good uni experience. I had good people around me. Yeah. I had, you know... Because you get to uni and you can meet some people with no home training. And that's the truth.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You meet
it really
people.
prepares you for the real world. Oh, people really like this.
Yeah. And then you understand that, then you thank your parents for like that time they shouted at you for not washing the dishes. Because then you get to your communal kitchen and the dishes are up here.
Yeah, you're like, why? Why is no one cleaning the plates?
I say, none of you can see this. And you can sleep knowing that the dishes are all the way up here.
There's no way.
Scary. But that's what uni is all about. It's about learning all of that experience and kind of shaping yourself and being organized. Yeah. Like, I remember I used to be in the library in the first year. And like, the second years and third years, be like, why the hell are you in the library? Like, it's your first year, go and live your life. Like, because they knew what was coming. They're living what's coming in it. They're like, babe, go and live your life now. Because as soon as you get to second year,
it's a wrap.
It's a wrap, my G. Like, you will be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You will be here.
All the time.
So, but I tried to keep on that path. I did sociology and politics.
I did sociology.
Yeah, man. I love the study of people and just society as well. Like, what makes us? Do we make society, or is there one person that makes us, if that makes sense? So that's where my interest of like sociology and politics came in, because is it policy that changes us, or do we change policy? If that makes sense.
Yeah,
it's a bit deep. Yeah, but like, yeah, so that was where my choice of sociology and politics came in. But also, I just love the study of politics because I feel like the law is a very interesting thing. Oh, yeah. If there's loopholes, it's peak. But uni was great until my first final year.
Okay.
My first final year, which changed my whole life.
Wow.
So I got to third year, and it's so crazy because I want to set the scene, because I was failing my third year. Okay. I just wasn't getting it. I wasn't, and I feel like that was the year where I knew that I was about to leave this bubble, because university is kind of a bubble.
It's a bubble, yes. You're on campus.
You're allowed to make your mistakes. You know what I mean? You're allowed to do all of that, and they're just like, you're just a kid. Do you know what I mean? But reaching the final year and I'm knowing that I'm about to go into the real world, and I feel like that pressure was really, really sinking in, and also I was having a lot of personal and internal thoughts about my sexuality. Like I didn't have no one to talk to. I had like one person, which was actually my best friend.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of pressure on her as well. Yeah. So, like...
How did you handle that in terms of like, I guess now you're older, you're like, okay, I know who I am as a person. Were you like still going to church? Were you like, was there a lot of conflicts to you to be like, okay, how do I feel about my sexuality? Also growing up in the church and being around people that might not understand you. How was that?
I think because I wasn't in church, it was probably harder, to be honest. I feel like I went into my shell. It wasn't a case of calling upon God. If anything, I was furthest away.
Wow. So when did you stop going to church then?
I would say probably like uni. When I went to uni, I think first year, tried to go to church a couple times, but just didn't. It was so different from what I was used to.
Yeah.
So I just didn't gel with it, or I just didn't make it a priority. I think I was just running a riot, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I guess now that I'm looking back on it, that's probably why it was so hard, because I didn't lean on the big man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I guess when it got to third year, I was the furthest away from God I could have been. And it was such a lonely journey. Like, I remember my housemate, she realized that she was just like, what's going on with you? Like,
Yeah.
I remember just bursting out crying on the sofa. Like, I didn't do my final year. I didn't speak to anyone.
Yeah.
I had what now I know now was anxiety. I had a lot of anxiety. I didn't go out to events. I stopped hanging around the people that I used to hang around with. I was just in my own shell, and I was failing uni.
Yeah.
So that's everything was just deteriorating. I used to just sit down and watch Prison Break.
I feel like we all did that at uni. Don't judge yourself, because we all did that.
We did. Scandal had us in that
chokehold. How to get away with murder.
Man. So I was just failing, and I remember just losing it one time. I was gonna send this peak email to one of my seminar leaders.
Yeah.
I was gonna send this peak. That email would have got me expelled. Like,
What?
It was just like, because he graded me really low. I was like, you know when you're banging the keyboard, like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, meet me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember my friend was just like, you can't send that email. You can't. I think she even took the laptop or something. I don't even know, but like, she was like, you cannot send that email.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's when I kind of like woke up. I was like, what's happening? Like, what's actually happening? And then, I don't know if that happened. No, it happened before. That happened before. So anyway, it was February in uni. I think it's again leading into my final year, and I've had a car accident.
Oh my gosh.
So I was on my way back to university. Me and my best friend were driving.
Yeah.
The tire just burst.
On the motorway?
On the way. No other cars were involved, but the car span out of control. And ended up going into like the bank where the green bit is.
Yeah.
So we slid across the motorway, gone into the green bit, but then it's come back out somehow. But this time we're in the air.
What?
It's landed back in the motorway. Like, and that was the moment that literally changed my whole life in terms of like, one, my injury. So I guess a lot of people, they see this and like, you know, if you go on Google, they're like, Remi Burgz' arm. Like, they want to know what happened and stuff. Yeah. But I had a car accident and it basically like tore off my whole skin. And yeah, that was the moment I feel like God was telling me to like sit still, like just chill.
Yeah.
Doing too much. Like, and I needed that moment. When I say I wouldn't be a presenter today if I did not have that car accident, like, I would have preferred like, you know, a less dramatic way of learning or lesson, but I'm also grateful for it.
Yeah.
Because I'm still here.
Amen. And we're so happy that you're here.
Amen. Because, I mean, yeah, when the doctors and the nurses, when they saw the car, they were just like, how the hell did you come out of that? Like, and this was the only injury I had. Like, I had nothing on my face. I had like burn from the airbag, but that healed in like 2 days. Wow. So it's like, that was it.
And then what happened? Like,
so that situation made me, I had to defer the year. So I had to, but it was a year that I was already failing. So it's like, it's like I had, not even like I had an excuse, but like it was like, it wasn't going well.
So you were like,
So it was not the year for me.
Yeah.
So I had to defer that. Then I got another opportunity to go back to uni. But before I got back to uni to go and do my third year, I already had so many moments with myself, with God, with, you know, like that was the lesson. That was the time when I learned the lesson that life goes on with or without you, by the way. Because I remember when you're in hospital, friends will come, then all of a sudden it will get less and less and less and less, and then you realize you're dealing with this by yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
You and God.
It's me and God. And that was the moment that I had my lowest ever thought. It's the only time I've ever thought, I don't want to be here. Like, because I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was in such a robotic method of life. I was like, by 21, I'm going to graduate. By 22, I'm going to find a husband. By 23, I'm going to have a baby. No, I'm going to get married. Then by 24, I'm going to have kids. That's what I thought I had to do.
Yeah.
But God had a totally different plan for me. Yeah. And I needed to just sit still and just understand that path was not for me.
No. He had a bigger plan for you.
He had a bigger plan for me. Because why was I still here?
Yeah. It's like, why?
Why did we survive that accident?
Because he had a bigger plan for you.
That's how I had to look at it.
And then, okay, so your year you deferred your year. You had another chance to go to uni. Mm-hmm. What happened in that time? Because you didn't go back, right?
No, I went back for another new year. So I had to do my third year all over again.
Okay. And
I was in a completely different environment. All the people that I thought I was going to graduate with have graduated already.
Yeah.
So I now had to make new friends. I got to meet different people. I lived in a different area. Like, it was just like a whole different scenery for me.
Yeah.
A whole different scenery. And in that time is when I realized, okay, I need to start living life for myself. I need to start doing life what I want to do. What do I think? Like, not following what's cool, not following what I think I need to say or what group of people I feel like I need to be around. Who do I want to hang with? So I hung around with a Mauritian girl, like from Mauritius. I remember I used to talk to her dad on never met the guy, but it was like her dad would call her on FaceTime all the way in Mauritius, and he was like, yeah, you got to come to Mauritius when you're done. Like, I've got a room for you, everything. Like,
that's
like, these are people I would have never met. Do you know what I mean? Because I was just going, I just didn't have a mind of my own, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, but a lot of the time it's hard because when you're at uni, you're trying to fit in. You're like, okay, I'm away from home. You don't need to fit in. What's the it crowd? And then you realise that actually, am I doing things for other people or am I doing things for myself? Which is quite interesting. So then I guess you found this new relationship with your friend. Then you're still at uni. When was like the turning point? Like, how did you get into radio?
So radio came to me after I'd graduated. So when I've graduated, I went straight into like youth work.
Wow.
Went into youth work, and it's a program that I did when I was 16 myself. Okay. And we were the first cohort to do it. We were basically like the pilot study.
Oh yeah, the guinea pigs.
The guinea pigs. Yeah. And if it went well, then it got spreaded across to everyone across the UK, and it went well. So it got spreaded across to the UK, and like I went back there because the people that were my mentors when I was 16 were the CEOs, and I kept applying for jobs, and they'll be like, you need 5 years experience, whatever. So I've gone back to like work in the office, get that experience, but also got the opportunity to work with young kids as well. So I did that for a few years. Yeah. But in those few years, like, actually, let me take it back. So basically, I attempted to do radio. I applied for Represent Radio 3 times, by the way. Rejected.
3 times?
Yeah, rejected. As a presenter.
Yeah.
Then I said, okay, cool, let me go and learn about radio. So I did the introduction to radio, which was like, they teach you the course of like how to put the mic up, how to clean songs, all of that stuff, everything you need to know about radio. I applied for that. First time. Then I think I got a job. This is when I was younger, by the way. I got a job in Sainsbury's.
Yeah.
It's like £8 an hour. I said, I'm about to make some
Money.
money. So I didn't. I said, let me park that one a second. Then I applied again. This time, my brother got stabbed. So I had to be with my brother.
Yeah.
It was something that I would have had to do after work. And I was like, after work, I just want to go see my brother. So I said, let me park that one.
Yeah.
A year went by. Then I got an email. The email was, we've seen that you've tried to apply a couple of times. Like, we've got a space if you want it. Like, do you want it? And to me, I was like, it's come back to me? Like, I've let them down.
Yeah.
And they've still, I said, yeah. I said, from this moment forward, I put radio first. So radio was first. If I had something after work, I was going. I would go and volunteer. I would be, they gave me 1 day to volunteer. I would go and volunteer there 3 days of the week. Like, every time I had space,
you do it.
Time, I was there because I wanted to bask in it. I said, you are first. Let me dive. I'm going to dive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's first. It's number one. So that's happened. And that opportunity has led me to now one person couldn't do their show because I think the tunnel was closed, so they couldn't get there. And then the production manager just looked at me and said, go on then. I'm like, what? She's like, go and do the show. Like that.
Wow.
That was my first. I remember messaging everyone on WhatsApp broadcast,
listen.
yo, you man, tell a friend to tell a friend, it's happening. And I never want to hear that show again because it was probably the worst show I've ever done. I need that show to be deleted. But that was like, that opened the conversation for them giving me a show on Represent. And then it led to me getting a show on Sunday at 8 to 10. But then I think they quickly realised my energy was too much for Sunday. 8 to 10. People are getting ready for, they're just waking up and they're getting ready for church.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. And then it led to me getting a live show on a Friday at 10 o'clock. So that was like our breakfast shows. Yeah. So I just used to come in and just...
Full of energy.
And obviously in radio, how it works is daytime radio, there's a playlist. Yeah. But I was such a rebel to the playlist because I loved Afrobeats. I used to just chuck Afrobeat songs on there. And I remember the station manager pulling me up one side. I was like, you're not playing the songs that we're telling you to play. Like, and I was like, yo, trust me. Like, this song is, oh my God. Like, you know what I mean? I was like a rebel to that. But I mean, it all makes sense now. Like, look at where Afrobeats is now. Do you know what I mean? So I don't regret it, but I am sorry.
No, but also think about your mum playing
African music. Like, this just in me. It's ingrained.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. That's kind of how I got into Represent. And then I've been doing that during lockdown. And then I got offered a job at One Extra.
Come on.
That's the short story. Yeah.
And how do you feel about it all now? I guess your story is like incredible in terms of like even the car incident and being like, okay, I need to stop. And then like you having this light of God saying, you know what you want to do and you need to prioritize yourself. And then now you're like, okay, I'm into radio. And I guess, were you still doing youth work when you were?
Yeah, so I had to quit at one point. I quit in 20... I quit in 2018. Yeah. But the thing is, when I say I quit, I quit full time. I remember reading this book. It's called How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness.
Oh.
It's a very long title, actually. How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and to Start Living Your Awesome Life, or something like that. Yeah. By Jen Sincero. It's a yellow book. Yeah. Yeah. That helps. But yeah. And in the page, in one of the pages, she was like, if you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? I didn't have an answer. Cool. So I did it then. So I was at my work. My manager sitting next to me. I was like, the time's now. Yeah. Use their printer. Here you go. And then she's like, what? And then she's taking me to a room and we've spoken about it. And I just needed to let go of full-time responsibility in order for me to like attack what I needed to attack. And I remember because I did it in the moment. I didn't have a job, but I still had bills to pay and stuff.
Yeah.
So I remember going on Reddit and being like, "How do you take back a resignation?
Sorry.
So how do you take back a resignation? Is that possible?" And then on Reddit they were like, "Don't do it. You quit for a reason. Don't go back."
That is so.
I was like, nah, I needed to hear that. And then in that time, I applied for my friend. So me and my friend were looking for jobs at the time, and she wanted to do like nursing and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was looking for jobs, and I saw a nursing job, and I sent it to her. She was looking for jobs, and then she saw a radio job and sent it to me. She got her nursing job. I got my gig at Capital Extra.
Look at God.
I couldn't believe it, like how it even worked, like, and the thing is, I applied for that job and then forgot about it. I think it was like a open call.
Yeah.
They had like 600 applicants. I honestly forgot about that job. So in that time, I was like, cool, I have to do something. My mum always used to like do digs around the house, like, so which one of my kids is gonna give me a master's? Eh? Which one is gonna give me a master's? So I thought, this is an opportunity. I've got nothing to do. Let me go and do a master's in radio, because you can do a master's in anything.
Yeah.
After you've got a is it postgrad?
Yeah, postgrad. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so
It's been a while.
yeah. So I said, okay, cool. Let me go and do that. So I've got the master's application. It's gone through. Then Capital Extra comes in and says, "Oh, we want you to have an interview." And I was like, "I need to remember the job description. It was that long ago. I don't even, you know, them ones where you don't even remember what you applied for."
Yeah.
Then I've gone in with an afro. I've gone in with like my afro, but I was shook because like that's the most black thing you can do. Like, do you know what I mean? And obviously they're saying it's a black station, and I was just like, do I look presentable? Like, do you know all these things you're thinking? Thinking that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I just thought, this is me. I used to rock my afro back in the day, so this is me in it. So I've gone in there. It's gone so well that when I left here, you know, like after people be like, how do you think it well? I was like, I don't even know, because like it was just a conversation. You know what I mean? And it was so good. And he asked me, what's my favorite genre? And I'm thinking, okay, it's Capital Extra. Of course I'm gonna say hip hop. Of course I'm gonna say R&B or urban.
Yeah.
You know that word they use back
urban,
then.
Yeah.
I was like, can't, but it's not. I was like, Afro beats. I remember saying that, and I was like, maybe I've messed up this interview kind of thing. But it turns out that's one of the things that they liked. They were like, oh, okay, you know, you like Afro beats. And, you know, I was very, very passionate about music at the time.
Yeah.
So on Twitter, that's all I used to tweet about. I used to tweet about songs. I used to tweet about, and I don't know who it was between, but it was between me and someone. And that was the thing that kind of got me the job, in terms of like, I had Twitter. I was so passionate about music. I was so like entrenched. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I got that, but that was a full-time job.
Yeah.
And I just got a full-time master's.
Oh, what was your mom saying?
So I was like, am I going to have to pick one? But the way God made it so aligned, I ended up getting the full-time job at Capital Extra, but it was in the evening. So that's where I met Yinka Bikini, who was another angel that was sent to me from God.
Oh, Yinka's amazing.
So I did 9 to 3 at uni. Then I used to do 4 to 10.
That could only come from God. That
Who
could only
else
come
is
from
it?
God.
Because I was thinking, how am I going to tell them? But it all just, I didn't even have to say anything.
Wow. That timing is impeccable.
Beautiful scenes. And it was a long day. Don't get it twisted. I was tired. But here we are.
You did it.
Here we are. I did it. I did that for 3 months. And then I got kept on at Capital Extra for freelance.
Wow.
And so I was doing Capital Extra as well as Represent at the same time. I was doing my show and stuff. So I'm grateful. Very, very grateful.
How did you juggle it all?
Honestly,
I
think it got to a point where I was like, I'm really tired.
Yeah.
You know what you say? I was like,
tired.
I'm tired. And then you think about what you do, and I'm like, that makes sense. That's why I'm tired. Do you know what I mean?
You're doing a lot. Juggling a lot of plates.
I had to rest. But then I think lockdown was my rest.
Yeah. How was it during lockdown being on radio?
Lockdown was a weird time, because radio is considered like a key working role. So I was still working during lockdown.
Oh, wow.
I
Still
didn't
going.
have a, but it was less hours, but I was still working.
Wow.
I was still working. So yeah.
That is, yeah, I forget. Yeah. Me, I was like deep. There was so much going on. But I just can't believe that time. Sorry, I'm just like, the fact that you could do both and it didn't like have any effect on the other one is incredible.
Yeah.
When do you feel like, when did you know, okay, this is from God? Or like, when you was like, okay, I need to come back to God and like figure out what my relationship is with him? Because
I'd say my relationship with God was pretty good at the time.
yeah,
At the time that I was doing uni and Capital Extra.
yeah,
I would say that it deteriorated. It deteriorated for about a year. It deteriorated during lockdown, if I'm being honest with you.
okay.
Lockdown was the time that I realized I lived alone, even though I had been living alone for years before that.
Yeah,
A lot of everything caught up with me. Because when you're silent, when you're in your house and it's quiet and you can't leave your yard and you've spent your 1 hour already in the day.
Yeah,
so you can't do it, you know what I
yeah.
mean? And then everyone's on house party, everyone's on clubhouse. It was just so toxic.
Yeah.
Like, again, I went back into my hole again. But it's always prayer that gets me out of that hole anyway. And then during that time is when the Capital Extra, I mean the BBC One Extra job came. So I left Capital Extra.
Yeah.
I've got BBC One Extra, and I'm like, God, like how? Like, do you get what I mean? And it's like, I feel like God wanted me at BBC Radio One Extra because I was already at Capital Extra.
Yeah.
But God wanted me there, and I was able to launch a show that had a gospel corner.
Look at that.
So from 10:30 to 11, it was the gospel corner.
I love that so much.
We used to invite DJs. DJ Milk Tray was like our resident DJ. And then we had DJs in America. So they were bringing their element of gospel to One Extra. And that half an hour, and I was like, you could only do that at One Extra.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it, like, shout out Adele, because she was like, she was the backbone for that. She was like, oh, okay, how about, I was like, yeah, like, let's do this. Like what? And it just made sense. It made so much sense. And we'd go crazy for half an hour because the mixes were like high energy gospel songs. Like, and that's, for me to be, that was like me giving back. Like, and that's just, but it's the bare minimum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was just, do you know what I mean? So it was a beautiful time. I did it during weekend breakfast. Yeah.
Which is,
they still do it. I think they do gospel track of the day actually now. So yeah.
but I just love that God did that. It's like
powerful.
He's like, I need you to know I'm still here. Like, and that's the whole thing why I just like love this podcast as well, because all the battles that you've gone through, like look at all the blessings that have come out of it, and like
God can bless you in the most in a place where you can't even see the floor. You know what I mean? Like God will bless you. God can bless you in bad places.
Yeah.
God can bless you in bad places. I learned that recently at church. That God can bless you in bad places. Yeah.
Like sometimes it's character building. Sometimes he's showing you like you need to go through these things.
Yeah.
So that I can prepare you for what I have in store. And sometimes it's like, but why? Why do I have to go through these things? Why can't you just give it to me?
Honestly.
But there's no one in the Bible that it's been an easy road. Like there's no, like even Paul. Sometimes when I'm reading the Bible back now, and I'm like, Paul went through it, and yet he was faithful the whole time. Job got everything taken away from him. Faithful, and everything came back tenfold. So like, I'm just so excited about what's next for you, because you've done so many amazing things, and you're such an incredible human.
And you too.
And like God is like shining on you. And yeah, I'm in awe of you, Remy.
No, Sheniece, like, there's one more thing I want to say.
Yeah.
I feel like during lockdown, God brought me therapy.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you believe in God, sometimes you think nobody else can help. It's just God. But God is also behind those people.
Oh, always.
Like, do you get what I'm saying? There's not all therapists, but God is behind. If you find the right one, he can use them as a vessel to get to you.
1000%.
And I'm so happy that I'm in a church right now that believes in therapy.
That's great.
Like Tab London, like the
I
first
need to come
sermon,
one day.
you need to come. If you come, I will go there early and save a seat for you. Big man thing, because it's one of them churches where it's like people are trying to get in.
Yeah.
You know what I
no,
mean?
I've heard.
They've
That's
got
why.
an e-tribe, they've got online tribe, and they've got. But
I watch online sometimes because it's fantastic.
The first sermon I saw, when I first ever watched a Tab London e-tribe, was about therapy, and I had been in therapy for 2 years at that point. I said, we're a church that believe in therapy, by the way. I said, I'm sold. That's it. Because there's like, and it's so crazy because if I didn't have therapy, I wouldn't have found my purpose again.
Yep.
Like I knew my purpose in the beginning. When I had my car accident, that's when my purpose came to me.
Yeah.
But I lost it along the way. Like it was too much. It was crowded.
Yeah.
It was crowded. Too many things were going on. Too much opinions. Too many options.
Too many
is
noise,
really
too much
bad
noise.
as well. Like,
yeah.
Too many options is. Some people enjoy that, but sometimes it's like, no, I don't want too many options. Do you know what I mean?
I need the right one.
I just need the right option.
Yeah.
And I feel like therapy really allowed me to look within, have my personal relationship with God.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, and I spoke to you about this, my solo trip. I remember you said I should pray on it.
Yes.
And I prayed on it. I remember you said I should pray on it, and I prayed on it, and I feel like God told me to go to Greece.
Okay.
So I went there, and I had to. It was one of them places. I was in the high mountain. I was like, I had to trek to my house. If I left there, I had to walk up the mountain to get to my house. Like I went to go and get one of them in the views where, you know what I mean? Like,
sounds beautiful.
And I've heard God's voice, and now I feel like I'm able to differentiate between God's voice and
your own voice
and my own voice. And God's voice
sounds like a friend.
It sounds like a friend,
yes,
bro.
Yes.
I was like, is it you?
Yes. Yeah.
My guy. And it's like, I'm talking to you in slang, like, and you're getting, like,
he
you know what I mean?
understands you.
And he's like, you don't want to do that, mate. Yeah, you don't want to do that, love.
Stop that, darling.
You know, not that, like, yeah. If I were you, I'd go left in it. You know what I mean? Like, or like, just knowing, entering a room and being able to know, this room ain't for me.
Yeah.
I need to leave.
My spirit said no. God said no. Let me go home.
I'm leaving. I'm going home. You know what I mean? And I was saying this recently, actually, like, I used to be the person who would be the last person to leave the building.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know this.
Be saying to the janitor.
Want that track again?
or be saying to the janitor. No, it will even be longer than that. The janitor, yeah, get home safe, mate. Yeah, how long is this gonna take you to clean up? Oh, I might as well help you. You know what I mean? Like, I was that person. You know what I'm saying? But now, like, it's just knowing when to leave, knowing who is for you, sitting at the right tables, like, down to like your immediate team, down to, you even apply this to your family.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You apply it, because people think, okay, it's your family.
Yeah,
No. You have to be able to know, this family member is for me, this family member is not for me.
And it's hard, but sometimes you have to do that. I love that you went.
I went, no, I told you.
Yeah, but I forgot that you actually went. So you said you'll pray on it.
Yeah.
And you went. It's the best thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
Like, going on a solo trip is the best things. I went to Israel last year. God
Your
was
voice
like,
note is what told me I'm going on this. So like, I booked it off.
Yeah.
But I hadn't booked. I booked Greece like 4 days before I actually left. Because I didn't know where I was going. I was like, I know that I'm going somewhere, but I need to pray. I don't know where to go. Like,
God to Greece. Maybe we should do it every year.
I need to. Oh, this is Mando. This is me. This is me and God.
Yeah.
This is me. Do you know what I mean? So
just silence. Yeah, no, I'm so happy that you did your solo trip and that God is speaking to you. And I guess what I love as well Remy, is that you have a community, but you also want to give back, and youth, which we touched on a little bit earlier. Like, how's your work with youth?
Oh, I don't. When it comes to like youth work, I don't charge. Like that's me. You asked me to be there. I'm there. Like there's no. It's just. It's ingrained in me. Yeah. Like I feel like I'm not even doing enough. Like I want to do more. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the youth are the next generation.
Yep.
So they're the ones that need the most nurturing. To be honest with you, like don't get twisted. We need nurturing as well, but young people need to be heard, listened to. They're creative. They have a creative buzz and glow that is, to an extent, the purest it can ever be before they get to the real world.
Yep. And
they start seeing that people are going to try and squash them down. People are going to try and inflict so many rules on them. So as youth, that's when they're at their purest in terms of like creativity, when they're at their purest in terms of opinions. Like we need to listen to them, you know, like some of them have the answers.
Yep. They are future politicians. They are future
do you know what I'm saying? Some of them can look at like, because we've seen so much and we might miss some stuff, but they're so like, they can look from an angle of like, but why don't you just do that? Like,
and
you know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, and it's like, rah. They think of it like that. Do you know what I mean? And you know, I learned so much from young people as well. They kept me so like humble. Yeah. Like young people can humble you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Very easily.
They're
so
you.
honest.
So, it's disgusting.
Like my niece and nephew are so honest, and I'm like, yeah.
Needed that.
Yeah. Thank you.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I guess with young people, at the moment, I'm like going in, giving young people advice about presenting, you know, people that want to make music, putting them in contact with youth clubs that actually just give them free studios to do that. Yeah, but I want to do more. Like I would literally want to do more. It's literally on my 2025 plans. Like
I love that
because who else can I can't. Who else? What am I doing with all this knowledge? Who else can I give it to? Like I got to give it. I got to pass it on.
I love that, and I love that you're doing that because, like we spoke about earlier, adults are so important to how you see yourself, and you're probably changing people's lives, and then youth being like, okay, I can do this. I can see Remy's doing it. She's helping me. She believes in me. So it's amazing that you're doing that, and keep going and keep doing it.
I love doing it, man. I love doing it. It shapes me to who I am today. To be fair, it's where I learned everything about. It's actually how I learned about people as well. Yeah. And you can't treat everyone one way. Okay. Young people, when I worked with young people, I made me realize that everyone is an individual. How I treat this person here, or how I talk to this person here, or how I advise this person here might not be the same as the next kid sitting next to them. I have to talk to them differently. I have to deliver it a different way, like, you know, because everyone's been through different stuff in life. So they can only receive a certain way sometimes. Yeah. And that's what young people kind of taught me.
100%.
Yeah.
Wow. What a story.
Thank you for allowing me to tell it and creating a safe space to do that as well.
No, thank you. Like I said, I'm in awe of you. And I think all the stuff that you're doing is incredible. And I am so excited for your 2025.
Amen.
And I know you're going to continue to grow and God is going to continue to shine on you.
Amen.
And you're going to continue to do your solo trips because
they're mandatory. It's mandatory now.
I need to do Bali. I think I might do Bali next year.
By yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard it's incredible.
By yourself, dude?
Yeah.
Omar. You know, I was shook. I'm not gonna lie, because there's probably a lot of people watching now that are like scared to go on solo holidays. Yeah. But I'll be honest with you, that's a lot more power comes out of going on a solo holiday. Like the fear that you have, the power that you're about to gain is bigger than that. So just go on it.
100%.
So take it.
I remember I went to Israel by myself.
Yeah, I mean, you're the bravest of them all, to be honest with you.
I did it by myself. Did a pilgrimage, got baptized again.
Amen.
And that's when I was like, oh, I can hear God. Thought I could hear him before, but after that trip, nothing's been the same. Wow. Yeah. So I highly recommend solo trips.
Yeah, no, you have to do it. If it's on your list as well, if it's one of them ones that, you just keep pushing it, you keep...
God's put it in your heart. You need to do it.
If God's put it in your heart, you need to do it because
Yeah.
you just don't know what's waiting for you. You don't know what's waiting for you.
You don't. And it's exciting.
Yeah, man.
Thank
you so much.
No, thank you for
me.
sharing your story. And you know how much I love you. And
I love
I
you
think the world of you. So thank you for even coming on.
Come on. Battles and blessings, yeah. Double B, yeah.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We all go through ups and downs, so I hope this episode brought you some comfort. Remember, don't get complacent during your blessings and do not give up during your battles. Please don't forget to like, follow and subscribe. I'm Sheniece Charway and you just listened to Battles and Blessings.